Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Tanvi Taneja, and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the Midday News. The headlines. Over 11,86,000 people recover from COVID-19 in the country so far. Recovery rate reaches 65.76%. Centre asks states and union territories to allow smartphones and tablet devices for hospitalized COVID-19 patients to enable them to interact with family and friends. DCGI gives permission to Serum Institute of India to conduct Phase 2 and 3 human clinical trial of corona vaccine Covishield developed by the Oxford University. In Leh, Union Territory Administration promotes apricot farming based on expert committee report to boost farmers' income. Raksha Bandhan and World Sanskrit Day being celebrated across the country today. And IPL 2020 to begin from 19th of September in United Arab Emirates. Union Health and Family Welfare Ministry today said a total of 11,86,203 people have recovered from coronavirus infection in the country so far. In the past 24 hours, 40,574 recoveries were reported across the country. The Health Ministry said a total of 52,972 new cases of COVID-19 were reported in the country in one day, taking the total number of cases to 18,03,695. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is 5,79,357. In a single day, 771 deaths were reported, taking the nationwide toll to 38,135. Meanwhile, India achieved a remarkable feat by conducting more than 2 crore tests in the country since the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic in the country. The Indian Council of Medical Research today said a total of 2,02,0858 tests have been conducted in the country so far. 3,81,027 tests of coronavirus samples were conducted by various laboratories yesterday. At present, 1,348 laboratories across India are conducting the tests for COVID-19, including 914 government laboratories and 434 private laboratory chains. More from our correspondent.
The central government, in collaboration with the states and union territories government, has adopted the strategy of aggressive testing, tracking and treatment to deal with COVID-19 pandemic. Effective containment strategies and clinical management protocols have improved recovery rate and reduced mortality rate. Delhi stands at top position with 89.56% recovery rate. Haryana, Tamil Nadu, Ladakh and Assam are other top performing states and union territories wherein the recovery rate is above 75%. 13 states and union territories have better recovery rates than the national average of 65.76%. Maximum numbers of people have recovered in Maharashtra, followed by Tamil Nadu, Delhi and Andhra Pradesh. In terms of mortality rate, there are 29 states and union territories which have lower mortality rates than the national average of mortality rate of 2.11%. In the total active cases, 67.81% caseloads are from Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh. Bhupendra Singh, AIR News, Delhi.
The central government has written to all states and union territories asking that smartphones and tablet devices should be allowed for hospitalized COVID-19 patients so that they can interact with family and friends through video conferencing. It will provide them the required psychological support. Though mobile phones are allowed in hospital wards, the letter was issued following some representations received from the kin of patients alleging that mobile phones are not being allowed by hospital administration. In a letter to the Principal Secretaries of Health and Medical Education of states and union territories, Director General of Health Services in the Health Ministry, Dr. Rajiv Garg said appropriate protocols for disinfecting devices can be developed and time slots can be allotted by the concerned hospitals to facilitate contact between patients and their families.
In Himachal Pradesh, the number of fresh cases of corona infection continues to increase. The number of people tested positive for COVID-19 has reached 2,703, with 69 fresh cases during the last 24 hours. Our correspondent reports that the rate of recovery in the state is also increasing.
The continued surge in fresh cases of COVID-19 is being seen in the state. 69 new cases have been reported from various districts during the last 24 hours. Of these, the maximum number of 27 cases has been registered from Solan district itself. The total number of patients infected with COVID-19 in the state is 2,703. Of these, 1,015 active patients are being treated in the state. Meanwhile, 57 corona patients have also been recovered during the last 24 hours. According to the Health Department, 150,186 people have been tested for COVID-19, of which 146,514 found negative for the test. Sanjeev Sundrial, AIR News, Shimla.
In Bihar, the monsoon session of state legislature begins today. Assembly Speaker Vijay Kumar Chaudhary said the session has been convened for one day as all the legislative party leaders have agreed to wind up the 4-day session on the first day itself because of corona pandemic. This session is the last before assembly elections in the state. It is for the first time that a session of the Bihar legislature has been organized outside the assembly premises. The session is being held at Gyan Bhavan due to corona threat. Meanwhile, the number of positive cases in the state has gone up to 57,270 with reporting of 2,762 fresh cases. In all, 36,637 patients were recovered and 20,311 patients are undergoing treatment in various hospitals. The recovery rate is 64% and total 322 people have lost their lives due to corona infection so far. In Assam, malls, hotels and restaurants are open today following strict COVID-19 norms. However, in Guwahati, malls and gymnasium have opened today on the one side of the road. Hotels and restaurants are instructed to operate by following the strict rules of the COVID-19. The Assam government issued an order yesterday to open malls, hotels till 14th of this month. Inter-district movement of people have also been allowed on Monday and Tuesday. However, persons above 65 years of age and children below the age of 10 years are advised to stay indoors except for unavoidable health reasons. There are 10,412 active cases in the state. In Mizoram, 14 fresh coronavirus positive cases were reported during the last 24 hours. With this, the total number of COVID-19 cases reached 482. Also, 5 patients recovered from the infections yesterday. In all, 258 patients have been cured so far. According to the official statement, the new cases included 12 BSF personnel and 2 civilians. In the state, active cases presently stand at 224.
In Maharashtra, 9,926 COVID-19 patients were discharged yesterday, which is the highest single-day recovery, and the recovery rate of the state is improving continuously. Due to the improved recovery rate, many people are coming forward now for COVID tests, keeping the fear aside and taking timely treatment. At the same time, there are incidences of overcharging COVID patients by some private hospitals, and the Maharashtra government is trying to curb this malpractice by capping the rates of hospitalization and increasing the testing capacity of the labs. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
Even after the stringent actions and warnings issued by the Maharashtra government, some private hospitals in the state are exploiting the COVID patients by overcharging them, and the patients from lower middle class and middle class are becoming helpless while paying the bills. To curb these malpractices, the civic administrations have appointed committees to keep an eye over the cost of hospitalization and other treatments in private hospitals. The government has already fixed upper cap of daily charges according to the type of treatment given to the patients. At the same time, many district administrations have made the provision of free testing for COVID-19 symptoms as a part of Chase the Virus mission and also increase the testing capacity of labs. This has resulted in improved recovery rate despite increase in number of cases in the state. Shailesh Patil, AIR News, Mumbai.
Telangana reported 983 fresh coronavirus positive cases during the past 24 hours, taking the total COVID cases to 67,660. As per the State Medical and Health Bulletin, the recovery rate has been reported at 71.8%, with over 1,019 people recovered from COVID and discharged from various hospitals in the state yesterday. Meanwhile, 11 patients died yesterday due to COVID and other comorbidities, taking the total number of deaths to 551 so far. The number of districts reporting high prevalence of coronavirus is also increasing, with the number of COVID cases being reported daily going up. Hyderabad reported 273 fresh COVID cases yesterday, while Rangareddy district reported 73, Warangal urban 57, Karimnagar 54, Medchal Malkajgiri 48, Nizamabad 42 and Sangareddy reported 37 fresh cases. The Health Ministry has issued fresh guidelines for international passengers arriving in India, which will be operational from 8th of August. The guidelines state that before planning for travel, all travellers should submit self-declaration form on online portal newdelhiairport.in at least 72 hours before the scheduled travel. They should also give an undertaking on the portal that they would undergo mandatory quarantine for 14 days. This includes 7 days paid institutional quarantine at their own cost, followed by 7 days isolation at home with self-monitoring of health. Home quarantine may be permitted for 14 days only for compelling reasons such as pregnancy, death in family or serious illness. Travellers may also seek exemption from institutional quarantine by submitting a negative RT-PCR test report upon arrival. The test should have been conducted within 96 hours prior to undertaking the journey. Before boarding, do's and don'ts will be provided along with the ticket to the travellers by the concerned agencies. States can develop their own protocol with regards to quarantine and isolation as per their assessment post-arrival of passengers in the state. Drugs Controller General of India, DCGI, has given nod to the Serum Institute of India, SII, to conduct Phase 2 and Phase 3 human clinical trials of COVID-19 vaccine developed by the Oxford University. The approval was granted by the DCGI after a thorough evaluation based on the recommendations of the Subject Expert Committee on COVID-19. The expert panel at the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization CDSCO had on Friday recommended granting permission for Phase 2 and 3 clinical trials of the vaccine Covishield on healthy adults in India. The firm has to submit safety data evaluated by the Data Safety Monitoring Board to the CDSCO before proceeding to Phase 3 clinical trials. Currently, Phase 2 and 3 clinical trials of the Oxford vaccine is going on in the UK, Phase 3 clinical trial in Brazil and Phase 1 and 2 clinical trials in South Africa.
In our series Experts Speak on All India Radio, we bring you the views of the leading medical experts on COVID-19. Talking to AIR News, Director AIIMS, Delhi, Dr. Randeep Guleria advised the people to aggressively follow the social distancing and hand hygiene norms to check the spread of COVID-19 infection.
Regular hand washing should be done. So those who in an area where there is coronavirus infection should wash their hands regularly. You should avoid going to crowded places because if someone in the crowd is coughing and has the infection, he can spread to others in the crowded places. And if any member in your family has fever, cough, cold, he should stay at home and avoid going out so that he doesn't spread the infection to other people in the community.
Dr. Anant Mohan, Head of Pulmonary Medicine, AIIMS, has advised people to not take medicine like hydroxychloroquine or antimalarial without a prescription by a doctor.
Please do not take medicines such as azithromycin, other antibiotics, antivirals or hydroxychloroquine or other antimalarials without a proper prescription by a doctor. Do not self-medicate.
The News Services Division of All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program today will bring you a special discussion program on COVID-19. Dr. Prasoon Chatterjee, Associate Professor, Department of Geriatrics at All India Institute of Medical Sciences, will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the expert on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. One can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This program can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.com and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You can listen to it on our mobile app News on AIR. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Over 11,86,000 people recover from COVID-19 in the country so far. Recovery rate reaches 65.76%. Centre asks states and union territories to allow smartphones and tablet devices for hospitalized COVID-19 patients to enable them to interact with family and friends. DCGI gives permission to Serum Institute of India to conduct Phase 3 and 2 human clinical trial of corona vaccine Covishield developed by Oxford University. In Leh, Union Territory Administration promotes apricot farming based on expert committee report to boost farmers' income. Raksha Bandhan and World Sanskrit Day being celebrated across the country today, and IPL 2020 to begin from 19th of September in United Arab Emirates. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have greeted people on the occasion of Raksha Bandhan. In his message, Mr. Kovind said this is a unique festival that strengthens the will to protect the interests of women and work for their well-being. He asked everyone to take a pledge to stand for the honor and dignity of women so that they can contribute their best for the nation and society. In his message, Mr. Venkaiah Naidu said, on this auspicious occasion, let us also resolve to uphold the dignity and respect traditionally accorded to women in society and empower them to reach their true potential. Rakis made by Indian companies and self-help groups have completely replaced Chinese products this year. Shopkeepers and people have totally rejected Chinese-made Rakis this year, following Prime Minister Narendra Modi's call for Atmanirbhar Bharat and going vocal for local. On this occasion, the Prime Minister said,
मैं इन दिनों देख रहा हूं कि कई लोग और संस्थाएं इस बार रक्षाबंधन को अलग तरीके से मनाने का अभियान चला रहे हैं। कई लोग इसे वोकल फॉर लोकल से भी जोड़ रहे हैं और बात भी सही है। हमारे पर्व हमारे समाज के, हमारे घर के पास ही किसी व्यक्ति का व्यापार बढ़े, उसका भी पर्व खुशहाल हो, तब पर्व का आनंद कुछ और ही हो जाता है। सभी देशवासियों को रक्षाबंधन की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi thanked Mata Amritanandamayi and Lata Mangeshkar for their Raksha Bandhan greetings to him. In a tweet, he said, blessings from India's Nari Shakti gives him great strength. Mr. Modi said, with the blessings of crores of mothers and sisters, India will touch new heights and achieve new successes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lay the foundation stone of the temple at Ram Janmabhoomi in Ayodhya on the 5th of August. There is much excitement in Ayodhya due to this. While in Orcha, the capital of Ram Raj, is also in festive mood, soil of Ram Raja temple and water from holy Betwa river have been sent to Ayodhya from Orcha, also known as Ayodhya of Bundelkhand. Various organizations have appealed to decorate the temples and illuminate the houses in Madhya Pradesh.
There is an echo of Ayodhya all over the country these days, but Ram Raja of Orcha are always in discussion with Ram Lala of Ayodhya. The distance from Orcha in Madhya Pradesh to Ayodhya is about 450 kilometers, but there is a connection between these two holy cities about 600 years old. It is said that wife of Madhukar Shah, the Bundela ruler of Orcha, brought Ram Lala to Orcha from Ayodhya. Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has also appealed to decorate Orcha as well as other temples of the state.
4 अगस्त की रात और 5 अगस्त की रात हम अपने अपने घर दीपक जलाएं, विद्युत बल्ब की लड़ियां जलाएं और ओरछा को विशेष रूप से ओरछावासी सजाएं.
The soil and ash of two well-known Jyotirlingas of Madhya Pradesh, Mahakal Temple of Ujjain and Omkareshwar, and holy water of river Shipra have also been sent to Ayodhya. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
The World Sanskrit Day is being celebrated today. All India Radio aired the first ever special program in Sanskrit this morning titled Bahujan Bhasha, Sanskrit Bhasha to mark the occasion. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar has greeted the nation on the occasion. In his message, Mr. Javadekar said, ancient texts of India like the Vedas were composed in Sanskrit. He said, this language is the mother of many other languages. Prime Minister Narendra Modi thanked everyone involved in promoting, teaching and using Sanskrit language. In a tweet, he described Sanskrit as a beautiful language which has made India a repository of knowledge for many years. He urged everyone to work towards making Sanskrit more popular. Mr. Jayadi Bhatnagar, an Indian Information Service officer of 1986 batch, has taken over the charge as Director General News Services Division of All India Radio. Mr. Bhatnagar had earlier served in various positions in Prasar Bharati, including as its West Asia correspondent and in Press Information Bureau. He replaces Ms. Ira Joshi, who superannuated as Principal Director General AIR News on 31st of last month.
In the run-up to 74th Independence Day, we bring you today a special story about agriculture and farmer welfare. Agriculture, which contributes 14% to the GDP and employs 55% of the population, has got top priority of the government.
Agriculture and farmers are in focus of Narendra Modi government since it took over in 2014. In the last 6 years, the government has taken many steps for empowerment of farmers and development of agriculture in the country. The government aims to double the income of farmers by 2022, and with initiatives like Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi PM Kisan, E-Naam, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, farmers are getting benefits starting from production to marketing. Government is emphasizing on every point. The agriculture budget, which was around 25 to 30,000 crore rupees before 2014, increased to 1,50,000 crore rupees. 75,000 crore rupees are being sent to farmers through direct benefit transfer under Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi. Anupam Mishra, AIR News, Delhi.
After the formation of Ladakh Union Territory, horticulture came into focus of development activities. Region's major horticulture crop, apricot, got special attention. The apricot farmers are feeling encouraged with this. The Union Territory Administration has formed an experts committee drawn from various research institutes and departments to study missing link in development and chain values of the sector and to suggest ways and methods through technological and financial intervention. Our Leh correspondent reports the committee has submitted a report last month on the improvement of apricot farming in Ladakh. This study is first of its kind. It is first major document about the apricot farming in the region. More from our correspondent.
The UT administration has started to work on the recommendation of expert committee report to improve the income of the apricot farmers. 2 farms demonstration for promotion of apricot in the name of Rakse Karpo Development Farm in Saspol village and demonstration of stone fruits in Nimo village are being set up during this financial year. One of the members in expert committee and the chief horticulture officer Leh district, Mr. Sewang Punso, has said that the committee has analyzed the strength and weakness of apricot farming in Ladakh. He also said,
UT Ladakh ने वानी को बढ़ावा देने और रिपोर्ट बनाने के लिए एक कमेटी तश्कील किया। न्यू एसेट्स क्रिएशन के मामले में UT लद्दाख में 3 ट्रेनिंग सेंटर, 1 सस्पोल और 2 नुब्रा के सुमूर और तेरसे में काम शुरू किया गया है।
Apricot also got nation's attention after the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has discussed apricot farmers of Ladakh in his last Mann Ki Baat on July 28. To strengthen the value addition, farmers have been given solar dryer under the central government scheme Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture this year. One of the progressive farmer and beneficiary of the solar dryer from Domkar village, Sonam Tanzin, has shared about the benefit of this scheme.
मेरा नाम तंजीन थंगजुक ऑर्गेनिक के नाम से लोग जानते हैं। मैं पिछले 10 साल से को लद्दाख के एप्रिकॉट को आगे बढ़ने के लिए बहुत से सेमिनार, बहुत से वर्कशॉप अपने गार्डन में मनाते आया।
Progressive farmers are considering the first ever report is the beginning of exploration of the apricot, which is of premium quality and abundant in the region. With Ramesh Chandra, this is Young Chandorma for Air News from Leh Ladakh.
The centre has laid a lot of emphasis on the development of Jammu and Kashmir. In November 2015, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced an 80,068 crore rupee reconstruction plan for strengthening the socio-economic infrastructure of Jammu and Kashmir and balanced regional development. A report.
The ambitious program touches practically every sector and provides massive investment in infrastructure. After the reorganization of Jammu and Kashmir, the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir was handed over 54 Prime Minister's Development Package projects with an outlay of 58,627 crore rupees. 9 projects with an outlay of 21,441 crore rupees were transferred to the Union Territory of Ladakh. The main aspect of the project is the intensity and unprecedented speed in completion of the works. The expenditure on the project, which was 27% of the approved cost in June 2018, has increased to 54% in July this year. The number of completed projects or substantially completed projects has increased from 7 in June last year to 17 in July this year. With Dipendra Kumar, Suparna Saikya, AIR News, Delhi.
In Bihar, the flood situation remained grim. Flood water entered low-lying areas following the rise in water level of Gandak, Buri Gandak, Bagmati and Adhwara group of rivers. Over 55 lakh people spread over 14 districts are reeling under the impacts of these devastating floods. The situation is worst in Darbhanga district, where about 17 lakh people have been affected. Other districts where the situation is grim are Muzaffarpur, Samastipur, Sitamarhi and East Champaran. Relief and rescue operations have been intensified. In all, 31 teams of NDRF and SDRF have been pressed into service. Over 4 lakh people have been evacuated so far. IPL 2020 will be played from September 19th to November 10th in the UAE this year. The decision to this effect was taken at a virtual meeting of IPL Governing Council last night. The matches will be played in Dubai, Sharjah and Abu Dhabi, subject to necessary clearances from the Government of India. The final will be played on 10th of November this year. The Women's T20 Challenge will also take place in the UAE and will comprise 3 teams with 4 matches to be played during the IPL playoff week. The Board of Control for Cricket in India, BCCI, has issued SOPs to all state associations for resuming domestic cricket activities. The BCCI issued the standard operating procedures with the clarification that training will only resume subject to getting approval from the local administration. According to the BCCI guidelines, the players will have to sign the form acknowledging the risks involved with training resumption amid COVID-19 pandemic. Support staff, officials and ground staff over 60 years of age and with individuals with underlying medical conditions are barred from attending training camps until suitable guidelines are issued by the government as per the SOP. The guidelines detail how every state association will be required to appoint a chief medical officer who will be responsible for maintaining biosafety guidelines. Now let us take a look at the weather update for the day. National capital Delhi may experience generally cloudy sky with light rain. Minimum temperature was recorded at 28 degrees Celsius and the maximum is expected to be around 38 degrees. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The city experienced a minimum temperature of 26 degrees Celsius and will have a maximum of around 34 degrees. In Chennai, the temperature will hover between 24 and 35 degrees Celsius. The city will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The city recorded a minimum temperature of 29 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be nearly 35 degrees. In Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature was 28 degrees Celsius in Jammu while maximum will be around 35 degrees. The city is likely to see partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. In Srinagar, the temperature will hover between 18 and 33 degrees Celsius. The city is expected to have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Ladakh will also have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature will hover between 15 and 30 degrees Celsius. In Gilgit, minimum temperature was recorded at 15 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 34 degrees. It is expected to have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Muzaffarabad may face partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The place witnessed a minimum temperature of 23 degrees Celsius while maximum temperature will be around 37 degrees. Guwahati is expected to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder lightning. Minimum temperature in the city was 27 degrees Celsius while maximum is expected to be around 37 degrees. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Over 11,86,000 people recover from COVID-19 in the country so far. Recovery rate reaches 65.76%. Centre asks states and union territories to allow smartphones and tablet devices for hospitalized COVID-19 patients to enable them to interact with family and friends. DCGI gives permission to the Serum Institute of India to conduct Phase 2 and 3 human clinical trial of corona vaccine Covishield developed by the Oxford University. Raksha Bandhan and World Sanskrit Day being celebrated across the country today, and IPL 2020 to begin from 19th of September in the United Arab Emirates. And with that, we end the Midday News.